Good morning. This is an exciting time for many of us. I know it's an exciting time for our group here, and it's certainly going to be a very exciting time for you. At the end of the session yesterday, the director of schools of Nashville said in his hopes for tomorrow that we'd have students involved. He said that to me, and I gave him a high five, because that's what we've got. And I know that the voice of students is near and dear to all of you in the class, all of you in this room. On October 30th, CASEL put out a call for nominations for approaches that effectively support academic, social, and emotional learning in secondary schools, which are middle and high schools. And so this is for inclusion in the next CASEL guide. And this will be a companion to the recently published elementary school guide to SEL programs. And note the word that was used in this was approach. It wasn't programs, it was approaches. And that includes programs. And the goal here is to meet that challenge that I think everybody in this room is facing, is how do we impact all students with systemic SEL at the high school level? It's a challenge that we're all facing. And we have here some of the answers to that question. And we also, in the second half of this session this morning, we're going to hear from 3 districts that are going to share with us about what they're doing at high school, some promising practices, some ideas, and then we're going to have some time for discussion. And we're going to close the morning with some reflection from the students on what they heard about what's going on throughout the country in your wonderful districts. So we're excited about this next hour and a half with you. And so let's get started with the student panel, and I'd like to ask Pauline Dow to come up and give us the context in Austin ISD for student voice and engagement.
Thank you, Rob. So we've had a pretty intense couple of days or day and a half, and the dialogue has been, I think, inspiring. We've heard that as we've walked around the room even this morning. But that was all just a warm-up because the main event is about to begin. And in Austin ISD, I think I really do have this sort of benefit of being fairly new to this system and looking on it with cool eyes and recognizing the importance that Austin places on trying to get a 360-degree view of the data, right, of the stuff we do and why we do it, trying to answer those questions. And a key part of that is sort of thinking about and paying attention to the feelings, perceptions, and beliefs of our stakeholders. And a very important aspect of that is to hear from students who are essentially the centerpiece of the work that we do. So I don't know about all of you, but after yesterday's panel, you know, I really appreciated the opportunity to participate on that panel because it challenged a lot of the assumptions that I have around the work and around thinking about the data. And so I went home and was just rethinking about what I believe it means to be well educated, what that's all about anyway. And I wanted to just share briefly that, you know, in articulating that for myself, it really is about standards of excellence, right? Standards of excellence in the context of this social emotional learning construct that should sort of permeate the work that we do like water, so it gets into every crack and every crevice. And I was reminded of a mentor of mine, the late Don Clifton, who said, "Our greatest contribution as educators is to make sure there's a teacher in every classroom that cares that every day every child learns and grows and feels like a real human being." And we have that in Keeth Matheny here, who is with his students today. We witnessed that yesterday when we were at Austin High School. And I think it's a beautiful model for the work that we're trying to push out. And so that's the context. It's about paying attention to the feelings, the perceptions, and the beliefs of our stakeholders, all stakeholders, including our students and their parents, and allowing that to help drive our agenda.
Thank you very much. And I'm going to turn it over to Keith here with that introduction.
Okay. Well, first of all, I don't need a microphone. First off, I'm probably better known now as Truman's dad. Last night. So, which of course is job number one, as you guys can imagine. So I'm very excited about this program. We're very fortunate that we had some visionary administrators in our district, and also Principal Sandy Campion, who's right here. Sandy, would you please stand up? Good morning. Who dedicated local funds from the high school to fund this class to allow us to have, a teacher unit to teach full time this class. And this is our second year with the class, and the first year's data was really strong. The data's on the back of the sheet you guys have, as well as the content. And I, for one, feel like anything that we have is 100% for you guys. Anytime you need it, all you have to do is email, and you will get it immediately. Anything I have is yours. So, just showing you a couple of things. There's three main components of the class. It's basically stolen from Avid. It's basically stolen from Avid. The organization skills and school engagement piece is from Avid. You want me to use the microphone? Okay. I'll use the microphone, sorry. Basically, the organization skills and student engagement piece comes from mainly Avid concepts and strategies, and then just basically tying as many activities on campus into the kids as possible. And then the SEL piece is really combination of social emotional learning, character education. We use the 7 Habits of Highly Effective Teens and also psychology of excellence stuff. And then we do a lot of structured grade recovery, peer tutorials, and grade speed conferencing. And there you can see the data. The data's on the back of your sheet. And most of the kids here on the panel are from that class. However, we did bring a junior, Nathaniel Graves from Avid. And we have one of my seniors from last year who had me for Avid for multiple years. He's in college at Texas Tech. And so they'll all introduce themselves here in a minute. In fact, let's do that now. Can we start, Jordan?
Does it work?
Yep.
Okay. I'm Jordan Schneider. I'm in 9th grade, and I am very interested in aquatic biology.
My name's Hunter Haskell, and I'm a freshman. I'm most interested in music right about now.
Is this on? Okay. I'm Emily Trevino, and I'm in 9th grade, and I'm interested in photography.
Hello, my name is Rogelio Rayos. I go by Roy. I'm a freshman at Texas Tech University, and I'm studying business finance and entrepreneurship.
I'm Brianka Osborne. I am in 9th grade, and I'm interested in orchestra.
I'm Nathaniel Graves. I am a junior at Austin High School, and I'm interested in the Japanese language.
Those microphones aren't working. Are not on. Try this one.
Do I say that again?
Okay. So at your tables, let me just. I also want to give a thanks to Sandy Campion, the principal, because a lot goes into this. There are permission slips. There are permission slips for transportation, for missing class, for being videotaped, and just all that it takes to do something that's outside of the schedule. And all of this is happening in the context of accreditation that's been happening at the school site. So we're so appreciative that you had our visitors yesterday, and that you worked with Keith to do all the arranging to have these students here. So thank you very much again. At your tables are results from the spring 2012 Student Climate Survey at Austin High School. These results, along with all schools and all aggregated results for the district, are available to the public at the district website. You just need to you need to wade your way through the website to find them, and we can certainly help with that. But we're at a wonderful day and age where it was just a decade ago where this kind of data was not available to the public. We may have even had some of it, but we didn't share it. And so it's available to the students and to the community. We're taking, this group spent some time in 2 sessions earlier this week taking a look at the data that's at your table. And so we're going to have a discussion about that data today. And so the way that this will work is that we've asked one student to get the ball rolling in the 2 or 3 areas that we've identified based on time, and they're going to get started, and other students will share their personal reactions, strengths, recommendations, etc. And again, another appreciation for Sandy and the district administration is support for student voice, because sometimes we might hear things that challenge us, and that's exactly what we want to hear. We don't mind hearing the strengths too, and those things that you like, but it is a risk sometimes for the administration to that the administration is taking, and we thank you for taking that risk with us. And so let's begin. And so the first question, Nathaniel said that he would start it off, is looking at the area of student engagement on your surveys. Nathaniel, would you please share some of your thoughts regarding the survey results and what you think the school, the students, the staff, and community may want to consider to address the results?
Yeah. Is it working?
Can you guys hear?
Okay. So if you look at number 28, my teachers connect what I'm doing to life outside the classroom. I think that's really big, and the fact that it went down from 2.9 to 2.6 and it stayed that way, and related to other schools, it's even other schools still have a relatively low score, and I think that's really big in all schools, because in my classes there are a lot of students that aren't really afraid to voice their opinions to their teacher. But so while I'm sitting in class, the one thing that I hear mainly is, I don't need this in life, so I don't need to pay attention, or, you know, what's the point of having this class if I'm not going to learn? So I honestly think that what one thing teachers, or, you know, a lot of other adults could probably do better about this is to create a more active learning environment for the students so that they feel more engaged in what they're learning. And I think that, well, with math and with science and even with reading, there are some topics that teachers use to try to relate to life, but they use far out examples like astronauts and baseball and football. And, you know, not everybody wants to be an astronaut, not everybody plays football, not everybody plays baseball. So I think it would be best for teachers to just stick to general subjects that maybe a lot of students could relate to rather than just one area.
Are there others who would like to add to that?
I was looking at number 17. I enjoy doing my schoolwork. That was probably the lowest one for us at a 2.4. And I think if we did more movement with interaction with each other and getting to figure out how to do the work right, and just moving around the classroom, doing different activities, different ways to see certain things, students would have more fun doing their work and process it better and make better grades.
Others?
I agree. I think that, again, just a more active learning environment and relating more, because I feel that it's sort of like when students are shy to meet new people at first, when they feel comfortable, you notice that they speak louder. Maybe they're a more talkative person than you would expect them to be at first. And I think learning is the same way. They might not feel like we might not feel like that we're learning what's important when really we are. And if we can find ways to connect those dots, then maybe we'll be a little more louder or more willing and ready to learn about these things. And one of the classes that I was in, I think last year, geometry pre-AP, we had a teacher who would, geometry is a pretty hard subject to relate to every day without getting off topic, you know. And he was really creative in what he did, like, you know, with rectangles and things like that. He would use things like refrigerator or microwave or a chair and things like that. And it was really easy to connect because, well, everyone that I knew of had a chair and a refrigerator and a microwave. So, you know, just things like that. And so we did more conversations in the classroom rather than work. So our homework did pile up, but at least we had fun learning. And the homework was easy to do because we went home knowing what we learned. So we didn't really have trouble with all the homework because it was easy for us. You know, because in class we would think of the conversations that we had and we were able to take that home with us. And it made us enjoy doing our schoolwork better.
Also, along with that, the teacher's attitude towards teaching the class is very helpful. In 8th grade, my English class, my teacher would wait in the hallway like they're supposed to. And once the bell rang, we would always stand up and clap for her every day of the year. And her attitude, even if she was in a bad mood, would just be so great. And she was so happy to teach us. We had such a great time, and it was a lot of fun learning from her.
One of the areas that's stated in the beginning of the survey results of excellence is adult fairness and respect, and this group wanted to spend some time talking about that section of the survey. And Brianka had some interesting ideas and volunteered to get us started on that topic.
Okay. Going back to your teacher's positive attitude, looking at number 12, my teacher believes I can learn. That is something that's very helpful to me. In 8th grade, my math teacher, she always came into the classroom. She was always positive. When we were learning new things, she would always give us different views of learning how to do the problem. So there was never one way that you could do it. You could grasp looking at a different way. She knew that you could learn. If you had trouble learning the problem, she would give you different views. So if it was like using negative and positive numbers, and she would, like, example that she used would be, you owe someone this money, and then you gain this much money. How much would you have? That's helpful. It's helpful because you can relate to it, you can understand. Many kids in that class didn't know how to do math, and they didn't want to learn how to do it. But when she would give us examples, you were like, oh, well, I can relate to that, I know how to do that. And it was very helpful.
Are there others who would like to comment on that? Looks like you're getting ready.
Okay. I mean, it's a big thing to have a teacher that believes that I can actually do the stuff that I want that I need to do to succeed. That's why they teach it. But I mean, there are a lot of teachers who have different things going on, so they might be distracted with, you know, their life, so that would reflect the classroom. I mean, I'm not saying that they should just completely stop, but it'd be better if they had more, I don't know how to word it, just better, like, communication with us on what we need to do instead of just, like, do this and do that. I kind of want more, you know, guess one-on-one time would probably be the best for me.
I agree. We had a teacher this year actually, who it was our Japanese teacher, who was back to teach us our third and fourth year of Japanese. And at the beginning of the year, every day he would walk in, he would just write our assignment on the board and sit down and work on his laptop. And we would just be doing bookwork every day the first half of the year. And especially when you're learning a language, you'd want to learn how to speak it, not write it. But I can proudly say that my handwriting in Japanese is now very good. But I'm not as fluent as I would like to be, and it was because the first half of the year we were just doing bookwork. And what happened because of that lack of communication, the students, all of us in the classroom, it's not a very big class, but so we had this community, and I think community and the students as well as the teacher is important because our teacher, like I said, he would just give us bookwork every day. And so we decided to come together, and as nicely as we could, we suggested that he teach us the way he taught us last year, which was very interactive. He would get up, he would read to us, he would, fill in the blank conversations and all that kind of thing. And he considered it, and he decided that we have a vote, and I really don't think that this was necessary, because obviously the vote won, I think there are 20 kids in the class, 20-0, teach like last year. And so now he's teaching us the way he's teaching us last year, which is very interactive. He's very positive. He's always got a smile on his face, even if we get on his nerves, even if he has trouble outside. He's always got a smile on his face. The atmosphere is positive. We're all good friends in the class because we do a lot of we do greeting frenzies, but it's in Japanese, and so we're learning the language as well as getting to know each other, and it's a very positive learning environment, and it's all because the teacher was positive and was able to have that communication with us. I don't think many teachers would be open to having their students tell them how to teach the class.
And related to that, my English class, the teacher would put a warm-up on the projector, expect for the kids to do it, and it would take forever for us to do it because the teacher would be in the back of the room on his computer. And my class was the troublemaking class with all the kids who are don't want to learn and all this stuff. But there's a couple of students in that class that do want to learn and do have a good grade. But most of the kids in that class do not have the highest scores for the testing or stuff. But the waste of time in that class is crazy. 30 minutes on a warm-up that's just editing a paragraph. Yeah.
On that note, when I first came to high school as a freshman, I believe that I was one of those students that you talked about in that class. I came in with the mindset that I wanted to get through this. I wanted to get through high school. I didn't want to, get involved. I didn't want to be an active student. And I went in, and there was a teacher, my algebra teacher, and it was the class just like that. It's students who have that attitude where it's, they don't get excited about school. It doesn't excite them to get up and go to class. And I feel like the reason that everyone is in this room is to target those students. And I did, something like an SEL activity in my college class, and I learned about myself. It's called a print analysis, and it tells you what your strengths, your weaknesses, what triggers you, and what triggers other people. And all I could think about afterwards was, why didn't I not learn this in high school? Why am I just now learning this? I mean, I could have used this. And so in that regards, I think that teachers need to learn these skills, these SEL skills, because if they can take these skills into classrooms where those kind of students are, take class like that, then, it would benefit those students on a level that, it'd be, I can't even put it into words. It would be, something great would happen in that classroom, because the kids, they want to learn at the bottom of their heart. They want to. But when you have a classroom where the general tone towards school is negative, then it brings the whole class down, because not only does, the students feel negative, but the teacher feels negative. No teacher wants to walk into a class where, the students are distracted and, they're not there to learn. So, yeah, I think that that it is true what you're saying, and I think that these SEL schools, these SEL skills, if we can target those type of students in those type of classrooms, it would be real great.
Wow. I met everybody here earlier this week, and I've been very impressed. I met Roy this morning, and I can see why Keith asked Roy to fly from Texas Tech here to be with us today to reflect upon his experience at Austin High School and how that's impacted him in college. So thank you for making the trip, and thank you all. I want to have one more question, because all of this is informed by the programs and classes that you are in now, that you've been in. And in particular, I'd like you to reflect upon either the MAPS freshman seminar that you're in now, if you're a freshman, or in AVID, or about AVID, specifically what you've learned or what you're learning, how you're learning it, and how this class is helping you in school, helping you with your friends, and helping you with decision making, and even helping you at home. So is there anybody who'd like to get started with that? Brianka, how's that?
This class has shown me how to deal with different problems, how to respect myself and others, how to learn how to talk and see from my mom's point of view. We were in this class, and one day Mr. Matheny said something, and I was like, wow. And not listening, and when somebody's talking to you and you're doing something else, I was like, well, I see how my mom feels. So I changed my attitude. It helps me learn how to respect her and become a better person.
In AVID, we're learning about organization and things similar to CASEL. And what my main problem is organization. And I think that a lot of students have trouble with organization. And I think a lot of students have the potential. I actually think everyone has the potential to be organized, but they don't really know how. And sort of like people like me, where there are outside factors that you can't really control that affects your organization, a class like AVID really helps to adapt to your situation, even if it changes constantly. And I'm constantly having to change my organization skills, by keeping a binder and an agenda. And in our AVID class, it's a grade to have, daily assignments, homework, test dates, everything marked in your agenda. And it's also a grade to have a very organized binder, no loose papers or anything like that. And for students who care about their grades, which I think should be everyone who goes to school, having a clean binder and a clean agenda for a grade would really drive them to be organized, because it's their grade now. It's not an option to be organized. They have to, otherwise it'll affect how they do or how their grade will be in the long run.
I am so happy that I took this class, because without Mr. Matheny's help teaching me how to do all these things, and I'm excited for the rest of the school year learning what we have now. I've gotten a lot of better grades. They're really good now. And I've learned ways to talk to people like you guys without being scared. I can talk to my teachers about missing work or things I need to work on. They're very into it. They're like, okay, I see what you need. Let me help you with that. They're also like, okay, you're doing this and that. Let me show you a different way. Let me do this. And Mr. Matheny's teaching us this has gotten me so far that I wouldn't have expected as a freshman in high school. It's very great.
Jordan was on honor roll, and she'll make honor roll again this 6 weeks.
There, I'm one of the students that doesn't do extremely well in school, but organization is my biggest thing. I lose stuff all the time, and that's what keeps me back. I mean, I know the stuff and I know what to do, but when I do it and then I lose it, and then it's like, okay, I did all that for nothing. Mr. Matheny's class has taught me to be more organized, but it's also been teaching me a lot of, like, character building, I guess. It's just it's a great class. I mean, he's taught us a lot of stuff. Organization, he's taught us how to give a proper handshake. I mean, everybody needs to know that. He's just been teaching us a lot of stuff it's just good to know. I wouldn't really, I was a little skeptical at first. Like, I wasn't really expecting the class to be much. I thought it was one of those, it's a joke class. Sorry. Just
Joke's
one of
on
the,
you.
I mean, it's an extremely beneficial class. I mean, every school should have this class because it's just so, it's just really beneficial. He's such a motivator, and he's inspiring me to want to go to school and want to learn. And I want most or all schools to have that, so they can all have that teacher that just wants to push them to do their best, and that's what Mr. Matheny does.
This class has taught me how to keep organized, because in middle school the teachers would of course make you write in your agenda, expect you to write your agenda, and they would watch you and make sure you did it. But in Mr. Matheny's class, he helped me stay organized. Now every day I write in my agenda. If I didn't, I probably would forget to come here. And we do grade recovery in his class, which helped me a lot because I get home at like 6, and then daylight savings and everything, but no excuses. It's just everything's on top of everything. And if I didn't do the grade recovery, I probably would have failed at least a couple of classes, but I bumped those grades up to at least passing. And yeah.
I agree. And we have, teachers, most teachers only have a year. Every year you get a new class and you teach them for only a year, and then they move on, and then you get a new class, and everything. One benefit that Avid has is that you have the same teacher throughout your entire high school career. So having that sense of that special connection with your teacher is very important. And I think Avid has the advantage over other classes because of the fact that high school is 4 years, and you spend 4 years with one teacher, so you really get to know them. And my teacher, Ms. Holbrook, we sort of call her our second mom, because not only do you have the same teacher for the same 4 years, you also have the same class, the same classmates for the same 4 year. So we call each other family, so it's like an Avid family, and so Miss Holbrook would be like our second mom. And she's sort of the initial person, oh, I'm in trouble with my grades, let's go to Miss Holbrook, even if we're not in the class. And for other teachers who don't have that luxury to keep the same students for 4 years, are really pressed for time to build that special connection that students really need. And I think a class like this class would help teachers. If everyone knew these skills, teachers would be able to establish these connections faster. That way, even a class like Avid, who has an advantage, wouldn't seem like such a superior class, despite the fact that you have the same teacher for 4 years, because then it wouldn't matter. Because if every teacher knew these skills, then every teacher would be able to connect well with their students, even if they only have a shorter amount of time with their students. And I just think that's really important.
Well, my friends, we are almost at the end, if you can believe it. It just went like that. But I see Roy's grabbed the mic, and I'd like him to tell us what you wanted to say.
All right, well, I think it's important for me to be here just because I'm a college student, and I've already started to experience, what it's like to be a college student. And right now I have a 3.5 GPA at a big university. and that's big, and that's big because the skills that have got me, that 3.5 are the skills that this, that CASEL is trying to push, and that this district is trying to push. As far as the organization, it helps you as a student, obviously, because part of what SEL wants to do is encourage the students to become involved within their communities and within their schools and extracurriculars. So how can you ask for your students to become, to put more on their plate if they don't know how to manage it? And that's why we need those skills, because a lot of kids want to do all these things, and then they get so wrapped up, they can't finish their plates. They don't know what to do when. They don't know, where to be at what time. So those organization skills are vital for students to learn, even at an early age, especially for freshmen. And as far as the character building, the self-management, social awareness, those skills, those are also important, because even within this little activity that we did, you learn to appreciate the people around you. You learn to about other people around you, and you build those relationships. And once you make those connections, you become more confident, and you enjoy coming to school. And kids, who learn these SEL skills will come to school, and they'll know how to interact with people. They'll know how to interact with their teachers. They'll know how to interact with their peers. And it'll create a positive attitude within the school, especially if we're training teachers these SEL skills, because they'll leave this classroom, the MAPS classroom, and they'll see an instant connection. Their teachers will be exhibiting these skills that they've learned, and they'll be able to use these skills throughout their high school career. And you'll see that the grades are going to increase GPA wise, and attendance will increase, and just overall engagement in school through this program. And I think it's a great thing, and I'm just happy to be here and speaking on behalf of it. And I hope that what I would like to see is that this district embraces it on a school on a district-wide level, because we'll be preparing better students and better citizens.
Thank you. I was going to save time for one. I was going to save time for 5 questions, but I have. Is there a burning question that you have? Because we've got them here. I think it's worth our time. I can arrange the schedule, and I see Eric.
Yeah, so any student could respond, but so you're finding success with what your schools are doing for you, but you know friends of yours who aren't, even though they're doing this. What could your school be doing to capture those friends that aren't coming along like you are and finding the success that you're having here? What would help them get engaged?
Well, like I said earlier about every teacher learning these skills, if every teacher knew these skills, then students who aren't in AVID and students who don't have CASEL can still learn, can still find success in being organized and learning social emotional skills. If teachers would take a little bit of their time out of their main curriculum to just teach those skills a little bit every day, then even the students who don't have these classes can find the same success that we are.
I would like to say that we have to train the teachers. You have to train the teachers, and you have to challenge the students. You have to increase the expectations. Whenever the expectations are increased, most students, naturally, they'll want to meet them. And if they're not being challenged, they're not going to be, motivated to actively engage in school like the people who are succeeding. If we challenge our students on a student-to-student basis, I believe that they'll make those gains.
I think if you connect what those students' interests are to what you're teaching and put it around what they think, they would be more interested in finding out what to do and how it would help them in the rest of their years at school.
Thank you all very much.